These protesters in Mexico City say cross-border migration is changing their country's capital for the worse. Over the last decade, an influx of mostly American so-called digital nomads have moved here to work remotely and also enjoy a cheaper cost of living. Protesters say the newcomers have driven up rents beyond the reach of locals.
Principalmente si van a vivir. If they're going to live in a country, they have to contribute to that country. The first and simplest issue is legal migration. They come here with visas or no visas, and still the change in purchasing power generates these problems of gentrification and displacement.
So I understand this is Mexico, it's their country, just like this is the United States and it's our country. But here's the big kicker that I don't think that most of these folks out there protesting against white people living there are seeing. They come over here and they send billions of dollars back across the border into Mexico. But yet somehow it's not okay for white citizens to go to Mexico and work over there and contribute to their country by being over there. They're spending their money over there. I understand that they're saying, oh, everything's going higher and higher and higher. Well, everything's going higher and higher and higher all across the world, not just in Mexico. It's going higher everywhere, even in China. And I don't think they see the bigger picture is that the United States has huge manufacturing over there, especially of our car parts, that these people, hundreds of thousands of these people from Mexico, citizens of Mexico, work at. And they work at these manufacturing, they make a lot of money through these manufacturers. And if those manufacturers were to get displaced over there because these people don't want them there, then guess what? They're just going to simply move back to the United States. And actually, I actually heard that these car makers don't want to pay the tariffs, so they actually are starting to build back here in the United States to bring manufacturing back to the United States. Now, this is probably going to cause car parts to go up even more, but at least people will have jobs, I guess, here in the United States. I think it's just not Mexico that's screwed, but the citizens all over the world are screwed from the governments that run their countries, destroy places and people. And you can't stop it. It's not going to be stopped. You know, going out and protesting against people that are legally in your country working just like they do over here is not the way to get the government's attention, because what they're doing is they're supplying the wrong type of attention to the government of Mexico. And once the government of Mexico realizes that all manufacturing and all white people are going to leave, the damage has already been done. There's no way to bring down those costs. As a matter of fact, Mexico is going to start taking a dive back to the 18th century, and prices are not. Prices are going to go higher as the economy of Mexico goes down. And I don't think that they understand this. And I'm pretty sure they're educated people. But most young people today don't think about education. They don't think about the future. They only think about what they're being told now. And, you know, there's not going to be a way to fix it unless you get all these white people's manufacturing out of here, all these small businesses out of here, and they say, oh, it's destroying our economy. You know, it's nonsense.
I'm here because gentrification is just one more step towards colonization, dispossession, and the exploitation of our resources. Right now it's about the people, but it won't be long before they run out of oil, water, or lithium in other countries and come and take them from us.
Many Americans in Mexico are able to still receive high salaries in dollars from U.S. companies by working on laptops from their apartments.
The government is directing its public policies towards people with higher higher purchasing power, often illegally displacing local populations who have lived in these neighborhoods for 40, 50, and we have even documented cases of up to 60 years.
Of course, that's what governments do, but it's just not in Mexico. It's also here in the United States. Just like our lobbyists runs our federal government and local governments, handing out large amounts to people in their positions to have and maintain control over the population, you and I. Happens everywhere, and you can't stop it, unfortunately, because as long as people have money and they're donating that money and the governments are getting that money, they don't care about the little people. Vote something different. Vote somebody in there that's going to take care of that problem. But here's the problem. Once that person says they're going to take care of the problem and they get in there and they see all the cash talks, bullshit walks. And that's the way it is. And you're not going to be able to stop it. You could go out and destroy your country by protesting, busting windows, burning people's cars, busting down buildings, driving forklifts through whatever you want. And you're not going to stop. The government doesn't care because you're destroying people's personal possessions that they themselves have to rebuild. And most of them people probably don't have the capital to rebuild the destruction that these people are causing to their private properties. But it is what it is. Thanks for watching.
In 5 years, rents have increased by 47%. This is violent for the local population. We are debating whether to pay for electricity, water, or food. Of course, we choose to eat.
Some activists blame Mexico's government for encouraging it. However, there's no simple fix. Imposing tougher visa restrictions on Americans could worsen relations with the U.S. Mexican citizens in the U.S. also send billions of dollars in remittances back to their families in Mexico. In a world where travel and communication are faster and easier than ever, these two nations are finding it harder to have neighborly relations. Wilson Dysart, Al Jazeera.